Good afternoon.
Good
I
afternoon.
hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I'm well. I'm awesome. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing very well.
We
Super
bless
well.
God. We bless
Super
God.
well.
We had an
Super.
amazing sesh
Yeah.
yesterday. I absolutely
Greetings to Joe Joseph.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jojo, ask him who's that? Ah,
Joe
Joe
Joseph.
Joseph.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting color. I loved him in his submission. But yeah, Kumi, this is also another story we have to deliberate on.
Yeah.
So there's a young man who says, in one of the meetings, I mean, he's met a woman
Yeah.
who he's interested in marrying, went to meet the parents or the family of the woman, and, they, I don't want to use the word demanded. They suggested to him that because they don't have a male child in their family, they would love it if, he took the surname of the lady, which essentially means when they give birth, they would want to have some of the kids or have the
Yeah.
kids take up
Their name.
their name. What do you make? What are your preliminary thoughts?
Okay.
on-
First of
on
all,
this.
let me greet everybody listening. First of all, for a family to think of it that okay, this young man, okay, if he bears our surname, it wouldn't be bad, which means they've seen something in you. They've seen value in you because name is a commodity that is so expensive, so they wouldn't give it to any other person who they think cannot bear that name, cannot be an ambassador, so it shows that the guy has something in him that they wish that they could have, as a son, but unfortunately they didn't have. So whichever way, coming into the family, maybe through the back door or through marriage, they see that okay, it's still the same thing. So if he's coming into our family, well, let's try and see if he can bear our name. But first of all, let's establish this, that women using their husband's name is not biblical
It's not mandatory.
and it's not traditional either.
So
Because
where is that coming from then?
It's Western.
Okay.
It's a Western something.
Okay.
When you read the Bible as a Christian, God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Mrs. Adam.
Okay.
Yeah. God created,
Oh wow. I never thought
our
of
grandfather Abraham
that. Yeah.
had Sarah,
Yeah.
what was the surname?
I haven't even thought about that.
It is not Christian.
So they all had their unique names.
They had their unique names.
Okay.
It is not Christian. When you come to our traditional settings, who marries somebody and uses the person's name?
Even the kids of Abraham had their unique names.
They had their unique
They didn't
names.
have names of their
So
family.
it is Western.
Okay.
But, sometimes, religion and tradition, sometimes they cross path. And one will influence the other. So because we embraced Christianity in a Western way,
We
there are a lot of
embraced
things-
everything
There are a lot of things that
that
we
came
embraced,
with it,
but
right?
it is not Christian. Now, why do women, when you go to places like India, a man can bear the name of a woman's
Yeah,
name,
of course.
which is normal because,
The women marry the men.
yes. So if you want me to turn the table, who is marrying who? Then go and marry me, then let me use your name. As long as I am marrying you, it presupposes that I have control, which some part of it, I don't believe in it because now times are changing. Why should it be compulsory that Noella has a name that people know, and all of a sudden Noella marries, and because of that she need to tweak the name to suit the husband, because if you don't do that, it means you are not faithful. You are no.
Oh yeah, arrogant.
Let her be.
Like I've seen stories where married women refuse to take the surnames of their husbands, and they're seen as quote unquote feminists.
You
and
see, it should be discussed.
bitter women.
There shouldn't be the pressure for her to adapt, and there shouldn't be resistance either. It should be discussed smoothly. Okay, I know this is the name people know me for. I wish I could, but for the sake of my job, for the sake of this, it should be discussed at that level. But in this modern age, my wife never used my name apart from Abicus. That was a brand name, But apart from that, why should I be worried because somebody is using her name, and because you married her, so you think you married her, you didn't buy her.
But let's now look at, for instance, Joseph's point or perspective. He raised an important, perspective. It's debatable, but I want us to look at that.
Okay.
He said women were created from men. And so for him, he believes they are like a symbol and a sign of authority. And if I am an authority over you and the lead of a family, everyone must follow my lead.
And that is chauvinist. That is chauvinist idea. We've passed that level where men, we are the men. Now we've gotten to a point where women also have a role to play. Just that, we need to respect our roles and all these things. We shouldn't impose. That is where the problem is. When we feel that we are the head and not the tail, how can the head walk without the tail? You are the head, who should be the tail? We need each other. It's basic. A man cannot stay alone. A woman cannot stay alone. For procreation's sake, we need each other. So we should respect our roles. And let's understand the fact that Noella will come here, either do the news, read the news, or will handle Candid. DJ, fantastic, will come not to read the news, but to play the songs. So we should have respect. Can you imagine coming to work one day and the janitors are on strike?
Crazy.
How are you going to work?
Crazy.
If you're a manager, would you put down your tie and go and to the loo and do
and wash the loo?
We should understand.
No.
We cannot be equal. We all have roles that we play. It's an ecosystem something. So my problem is the fact that we always pick a position and we think that is ours and that is theirs and then we against them. That is why I have a problem. You are the man. Yes, you are the head. But sometimes people err. That is why there is a saying in the Kampalans that but if you had that mentality that I'm the man, so whatever I say binds, whatever I do binds, and then you lead the whole family and the whole team into an abyss.
Yeah.
So we should understand you are the leader, but listen to counsel. That is why I just want us to clear that part so that it wouldn't sound as if yes, you are the leader. You show the way, but look. Do you know who a good leader is? A good leader is the one who will not use cane, beat people to fall in line, but can use the power of words to convince people out of their own will, to follow them, to follow him like a sheep being led to the slaughterhouse. That is who a good leader is. So yes, you are the head, but discuss it at that level. Me, where I have a problem, it's not bad if the kids are to share the names. It's not bad. Sometimes they even mix the names because
which is a good, I think is a better arrangement to hyphenate the names.
It's normal. That one can be done, but it boils down to discussion. Me, do you know my real name?
No.
My real name is Ernest Paul Cranton Edukumi. But I'm using Ernest Edukumi. Discussion. At a point, it was too long, and I had to, not me, but my parents had to, for the sake of academics and all these things. So some of the names, I shelved it. But it was discussed at that level. It was not forced from one person to the other. So we should understand the kids belong to us. We are entering into a family. They also have their problems. You see, the family is trying to share their problem with the young man. That is, if you be that considerate enough
to accept.
But the guy also comes from a family, and he's an ambassador of the family. He bears their name. As to whether the family too would understand
is another issue.
It's another issue. So the best way, I think, can maybe add the woman's family name, depending on his name. Depending on the name. There are some of the names that, when you mention it, they open doors. If you are to add a Rollins beat, some Kufuor beat, some
a despite.
Some despite beat to your
Meanwhile, I'm sure 80% of the men who, when they called, they said no. I'm sure if we're talking about a despite or something, they'll agree.
On the personality, the pedigree, the name.
But is that not hypocritical?
Oh, come on. Human beings are naturally hypocrites. What do you expect? It's normal.
So because someone doesn't have someone
Have you seen a poor person
here
being a
for-
church elder before?
Yeah, no.
When
I
was the
haven't.
last time? It was then, when we were young. But now you will never get. If you want to buy a light, whose money should we use to buy the light bill so that we come and enjoy the air condition? So, things are changing. We should understand. It's not bad. It's just a proposal. The young man, if he wants to be that considerate, depending on... Hey, look, let me tell you this. You wouldn't be surprised that the young man, like Fantastic, here, will go and talk to the parents. Okay, I've met this girl and, the girl's family want me to add, their name to my name, or if possible, we will change it. The first question will be, what is the name? Where does she come from?
Yeah.
And he mentions a name, that belongs to a certain class, the A+ class, the bourgeois. Hey, your uncle will tell you, what are you waiting for? Why? Is there something wrong with your mind? Go and add the name to it. Because they know that name can change the fortunes of your family. So it depends on how the weight is when it comes to the name. If you put it, on a beam balance, how resounding the name is. But if the family happens to be like mine, low key,
But Kumi, I get where you're coming from, but I want us to look at this holistically. Everybody can be rich.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's look at, in situations where normal people,
It's
they
not.
aren't-
You see, I'm not talking about riches alone. Not everybody who is popular is rich. If
Is
your mama
rich,
was
right?
popular, but I don't know
not
the number of
rich.
houses he had. Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the biggest African, but he didn't have a house of his own.
Yeah.
So it's not about money alone. I'm talking about the name, what the name stands for.
But
Influence.
there was something, one of the callers, I don't know whether it was Joseph or somebody said that it sort of triggered me a bit. Because, and one of the caller was right. When it comes to procreation,
Yeah.
you, the man, without a uterus, a woman's uterus, how are you procreating? You can't procreate. It's not like you can have sex with yourself and then give birth yourself, and so it takes your partner.
Yeah.
But when it comes to our generation and maybe developing your generation, the women, they are put aside. It's like, nah, it's just me. It's just me. The family is made up of me. A lot of the callers who actually stressed on him, me, her, and then my kids.
I don't want.
Why are women always?
I don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah.
But that is primitive. You see, times are changing. We should understand. Those days where there are certain rules that our forefathers, instituted, that to me, if you bring it into today's world, it will not fit. Because those days they were walking barefooted. Now we use, iPhones and all these things. You sit in Ghana and you know whatever is going on. Those days, if your relative wants to talk to you, he needs to record a cassette and send it, via mail, even post. Yeah, I remember those days when we would pick a car from Kwadaso to Bantama, because we want to speak to my father from Germany when I was young. And even then, when you go back home, everybody wants to know, what did he say, and all these things. From Bantama, from Kwadasu to Bantama, just to have a phone call. Now I have a phone call. I can call him anytime, any day. Times are changing, so we should also change. We should modify certain things.
Yeah, so
You
why
see,
do we find
the
it
me
difficult?
factor, it is because it favors us,
Favors who? The men.
the men.
Okay.
The me factor, that is why I always have a problem. And sometimes we understand it to a certain level, because you see, if you try to be liberal, sometimes some of the women see you as weak. And they want to walk over you. So it's a two-way affair. Don't be too stiff. You are not a robot. You are a human being. Your partner is not a robot. She's a human being. Find a smooth way of understanding each other. She's not your slave. The me, she's not your slave. Then why don't you be with yourself? She's your partner. So you should understand that, okay, yes, we are going to give birth. What name should we give to the kids? No, should I give to the kids? No. What name? maybe she might, out of maybe some pain, out of, she might give you a wonderful idea that you'll be surprised. That will impact on the child positively. So discuss it. Find,
It shouldn't be a one-sided
common
thing.
grounds.
Yeah.
And all these things should be done even before it gets there. You don't wait for it to come. Now she's pregnant, and I want to call her. Helmina. Me. I like Elizabeth, and sometimes naming even causes breakups.
Yeah, it's a deal breaker for a lot of people. And I was actually coming to that. I don't know about other ladies, but me, I love my surname a lot. Yali.
Yeah.
I love the surname a lot.
romantic.
Right? Am I open-minded to taking my future husband's name? Absolutely. But if I decide to take his name, it wouldn't be because I want his generation to move on and not mine. It would be out of love.
Yeah.
Because so for me, it's a way of expressing my love, my undying love to my husband. That listen, I love you so much so that I'm willing to take up your surname. I don't think I am obligated to take your surname.
Okay. Do you know why? Some time back, I know things are changing. Some time back, if a woman gives birth, they will ask, Nipana or
Yeah.
Do you know why?
No, tell me.
Okay. Because they believe that if you give birth to a man, you've elongated your generation.
How is that?
Because the woman will be dominated by a man and bear the man's surname. So you, as a father, your family name will be wiped off. So it will take the man that you've given birth to prolong your generation and your genealogy.
What kind of empty,
So I just want you to understand certain things.
Yeah.
That is why those days men were happy when they give birth to men.
And that's why I think sometimes too, this thing about generational curses and whatever, it follows through.
You see?
Because if name is that important to you, and let's say Kumi, Edu Kumi,
Yeah.
maybe, God forbid,
Yeah.
or let me use someone's name. Maybe,
No, don't worry, I'm free.
So like maybe you do something to somebody and the person out of pain, curses you and says, you and your generation. It means that for the rest of your generation, if they decide to use Edukumi as their surname, it's going to follow through.
Even if they don't use it, it's a bloodline. Yeah, so for that one, it can happen. But I want you to understand the psyche of why people get happy, especially the men, when they give birth to boys. There are some kingdom. There is this case that we're working on. Maybe with time we will go into details. This man is very rich, has 4 kids, all female, and now the wife is sensing that the man has a side chick, and the wife is afraid that the man may have a baby with the side chick, and when the child becomes a male, which means he's the one to inherit the man's properties, because according to their tradition, it takes a male child to inherit the properties of the father. Charlie,
so the side chick is the one who's giving birth to the male.
them, as I'm talking to you, it'll be easy. The man is very popular, very. It'll be easy, because according to the wife, I cannot toil with you all these years, and you kick me aside because of your tradition, and you think that my toils should be in vain and blah 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 blah. And the man too is proud. I have a son. At long last, I have a son, somebody who can inherit me. So all these things come to play, but to me, it's not that important, Charlie. The most important thing is, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. If your family wants me to adopt their name, I should discuss with my people if they are cool with it, and I'm cool with it. I will not change my name entirely. Maybe some infusion, at least that would
to help carry.
That wouldn't be bad. It's my new family, because believe it or not, they've become part of you. The moment you marry, they become part of your family.
Absolutely.
So that wouldn't be a bad idea. And even with that, you see where the resistance is coming from. The fact that you think that somebody wants to torpedo you because they are using their daughter as a bait, and all these things. But look at it from the other side of the coin. They want you in the family beyond you just being an in-law. to being a son.
Yeah.
So you should ask yourself, what do they see in me?
In me, yeah.
Some people are being kicked out, but they love you to the extent that it's not just your personality or you coming in for our daughter.
You know, you just hit on something I think we probably should maybe also one day talk about. I don't get why. Is it a human thing or an African thing? We our brains, our minds are built towards negativity all the time. Like we find it difficult to see our cup half full.
Yeah.
Like we always have to think negative, even when a golden opportunity is being given to us.
Yeah.
Instead of quickly now thinking of all the positives that can happen, we immediately, we start thinking, nanko ye na deal ni bom na say skaba see me. Why are we like that?
When paragliding started, I know some friends who went there. I asked them, okay, so are you flying?
Yeah.
And it has prevented us from doing a lot of things. That is why the whites, they flourish, because they are adventurous. They have a way of defying all odds and all fear. So you are afraid to enter into the bush. He will go there and come and tell you what is there. Then you become a disciple. So the next time you will go there, he needs to take you there. Then you become a student. That is our problem. We always still think negative.
It's
Me,
terrible.
I'm
It's
a leftist.
really terrible.
Naturally, I'm a leftist. But I try to live an open mind to see what goes on. That would determine whatever happens. So this one, I see it as an opportunity, especially if the family is a family with high reputation. It's an opportunity.
I don't know why we like.
I've never mentioned money. Have I?
High reputation in Ghana and Africa, it's tantamount to
the
person having money.
For Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, how many houses did he have? Apart from Yaniba house, his family house, around Nzima. He was given Peduase Lodge. It was built for him. He gave it to the state. So it's not all about money. Yes, we need money because in our world of today, everything boils down to liquidity, cash. But whichever way, there are other people who are making impact. So it depends on the family you're going into and your personal vision,
right?
And you
and
need
your
to
thoughts,
discuss,
your personal
you
thoughts
need to
as
discuss
well.
with your family.
Makes sense.
And the other side is be ready. You need a big heart because some people will tease you with it.
Yeah, the bullies.
Yeah, they'll tease you with it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at him. Could you be say, you go marry, no, he picking wife name. All these kind of things. Because we are filled with negativity.
Yeah.
So some of these decisions,
myopic.
when you are taking, you just need to move beyond just me and think about what the society and the environment, the pressure it will bring to you.
We always have to
then you
fit
build
into-
yourself.
Yeah.
You build yourself, your shocks against it, so that no matter what happens, once you've made a decision and you
Yeah.
know that this is what I want, you go for it.
Let's see what people think, and then if need be, you can share your thoughts on their thoughts as well. Benjamin Bokunte says the best solution is for you not to change her family name, but rather add yours to her own, so she bears both family names. Simple. Ubuntu says, are they paying the groom price? If they're willing to accept all bills for the marriage, that's cool. I'll accept. After all, I'm not the one paying for anything. And later, affidavit is around in case of future circumstances. I mean,
Oh, you see, they will say it. Look,
I
let
mean-
the lady's family decide to pay everything. They will still reject it.
Weezy Wisdom says, I will not ask my woman or wife to take my family name either. Boache Adam says, obviously the family is rich, but the very moment you agree to this, you lose control as the family's head and your mojo as a man as well. Okay. Kuzugaki Padi says, please find the real meaning of the name, because every name has a meaning. If it's bad, you can consider a humble opinion from me. YBC Ayuba says, meaning na they marry you. Don't do it, my brother. How can I use my wife's name instead of my name? It won't be possible. The family doesn't like you. That's my suggestion. And that's Francis Kelly Marco inside prison barracks, Boston, says, good afternoon, beautiful people. Good afternoon to you too, Francis. Kwabena Dumpson says, oh, I love that name. Dumpson says, they can't tell me what to do. If not, they should marry their own daughter. Okay. Tell them you are also the only male child in your family. That is from Harrison Delali. Ifwa K says, is there an inheritance or properties for you after taking the family?
You see what people are thinking about.
Oh my goodness. Nana says, Ikuabayao, men's. How much will they pay? Secondly, what properties are they going to let you inherit or give you as soon as possible? How many holidays are they going to embark you on? Lastly, are they going to do a dowry-free wedding? Okay. Kenyame says that's a no. Even if they wouldn't accept bride price for their daughter, I can rather suggest to give her surname to our son if God bless us with 2 boys. But if unfortunately we have 1 boy, then that wouldn't stand. AI Revere God says that's if she's related to Otedola, Dangote, Bezos, Gates, or any other undeniably rich billionaire. Oh, please, don't call me a gold digger. Well, you called yourself a gold digger, not me. Sharif Dunya says, I'm solidly taking part of the demonstration against the conduct of the EC. As for the girlfriend matter, later we go discuss. Okay, we hear you. Skyboy GH says, the family, they're not serious. How can you do that? They should take your name. I would never do that in my life. And that Quating says, just say this to them. Sheh. Williams Black says at least they should combine the surnames. Good afternoon, Noella. For me, I don't really have a problem. It has always been in my plan to add my partner's name to mine and mine to hers, and as a result, the kids will have both our surnames. Nana Kofi from Ayarifa also says, Noella, this is a simple issue. Either the girl keeps her name and the guy also keeps his, or they should combine their surnames and make it a compound name. Kobe Black sends that one from Toronto. Obviously, those are the Western, enlightened ones. Aigwenida Weda says, Good afternoon, my sweet Karen and the whole caboodle. My question is, who is marrying who? Come to think of it, this is a conversation. This is a conversation we would normally not be having. So it's good it's coming up now. Technically, it is the woman who gives consent to marriage. Otherwise, there's no marriage. But because the man is supposed to be responsible for his family, consisting of the woman and the children, he's supposed to exert that authority on the family, hence enforcing his name. So in this case, I'm afraid that the woman's family may not accord him the due respect he deserves as the head of his house. For me, I'm also an only son amongst 3 elder sisters. So I will also not let my father's name just go like that. I'm not in for that. If the lady pays for her own bride price, then I will gently do that.
You see? It comes back to the same thing. So
Yeah.
do you want power or you want a family? You going into someone's family and the person is opening his or her door to you wholeheartedly. But you're thinking about your power. I think that, you see, adding the name to yours wouldn't be a bad idea. But changing your name entirely. Because the rationale behind women picking or choosing their husband's name is to validate the relationship. And also serve as a sign for the society to know that, okay, this person is out of the market.
Yeah.
This person belongs to that man. That is why they do that. To say those days, if we have a flock of sheep, obiasha ne dianso. So they have this meta ejema normally attire ne dieno. So that if I see this sheep, I know that, okay, this belongs to this man, that belongs to that man. Because you cannot inflict physical pains, there are 2 things. Either you wear a ring to show that you are out of the market, or you bear the name of your husband. Nowadays, whether the ring is being worn or not,
People don't even regard the rings anymore.
If the person bears your name, the obey no obey. At least we should be liberal. We should water down some of this. This is what used to be. Yes, it used to. Those days we're using typewriter. Now we're using iPhones
and tablets and all.
We should understand that the world is changing, and we should tag along. Just that we need to be very circumspect so that we wouldn't throw away the good side of our past away just in the name of modernization.
Yeah. As for me, I'm open to having a collaboration. Because I also want my name to.
Definitely.
So if
a hybrid wouldn't be a bad idea.
Edukumi Yali or Yali Edukumi. I'm good. I'm okay.
It's
good.
not bad. So we can try it after.
Please, I beg. I beg you. Anyway, thank you so much, Kumi. This has also been an amazing session with you, as always. Thanks going out to each and every one of you that called in and sent text messages as well. To all of you who listened in on the show on Facebook, we really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for investing your time with us. That's all we have for our show today. I need to get out and make way for other amazing shows to come through. Before I do that, let's say a very big thank you to Betway for holding us down. Also to my production crew, to Nana Kwame Larbi, who are doing on social media. And of course, the DJ Fantastic. I'm Noella Karen Yale. Thank you so much for your company. I've enjoyed